Take care of your deer herd.
I haven't had a muzzleloader tag in 5 years. I'm jumping for my life.
We've got several big deer in here. Yeah.
Well, you can see the mass from 100 yards. Yeah, seasons come and seasons go, and though you can only hunt deer certain times of the year, we work for them all year long.
Well, some of us do. Earlier this spring, we were up at B&B Outdoors doing some turkey hunting. We took advantage of those late spring days to put out a couple of 30-06 mineral sights and some trail cameras to see what kind of deer we got, because somebody's going to be back in September with a deer tag.
Right there's the big destination field. That's going to be beans, but it's wheat right now. I think there's some big, thick country in here, some big timber, but right here is a buffer strip about 200 yards. It's really, really thick. We've got a perfect spot that we can set up here in a few months. When Tim's in here, he's got a muzzleloader tag, and we're planning on hunting this field first off. And the best spot to sit is just on the other side of the field right here. So we came in on the backside, try to find a spot. I want to put out some mineral. It's the end of May. A lot of people aren't thinking about their deer herd right now. This is the time to really think about it. It's antler growing season. I can see why this is the spot where they're breaking off. This is the first major trail onto the backside of this field. Now, I got lucky here. This is the trail I want to be on, and this happens to be a perfect setup. But when you're building a mineral site, you know, just a little forethought into hanging those cameras can really give you a lot better information on what deer are hitting your mineral site. I was going to put it on that tree, but I think it's a little big. We got a perfect tree right here. The trail will be in the middle. Got a perfect clearing. Not a lot of brush. I'll break this off. We should get some good pictures here. This is not going to just make antlers grow big. It's going to put a lot of body weight on your deer herd too. Does like it, as well as the bucks. Take care of your deer herd. Imperial whitetail 30-06. I've said it before, and I'll say it again because I see it too many times. If you're putting out a trail camera, don't put the thing too high on the tree. Nice thing about this camera, it's got some real good teeth on the back of it. And these black widows, you can adjust them. And it's the end of May, and there's bucks in this field that are already wide as their ears. They don't have a lot of tines yet, just main beams and brow tines, but they're growing. Right now, they're throwing the antlers on. So think about your deer herd all summer long. Do them a favor. Give them some Imperial Whitetail 30-06. It'll help them out. It'll help your does too, but it'll sure help those bucks. Should be good. Let's get out of here.
The excitement level has now officially gone through the roof. We're hunting with B&B Outdoors, Brian Black. Muzzleloader season starts today in Kansas. I haven't had a muzzleloader tag, I think, in 5 years. Normally I'm bow hunting during black powder, and this year when we were talking, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna get a black powder tag. So I did it. We ended up talking to Brian, and he was like, man, when do you guys get a black powder tag? I'm like, yeah. He's like, good, because I've got a handful of absolute giants. We got half a dozen deer over 160, several in the 170s that are regulars on this field that we're gonna hunt in this evening and probably spend the next few days kind of going after. My excitement level on hunts is always crazy. This one in particular, probably because, like I said, it's the first time I've had a muzzleloader tag, so I'm anxious about that. I'll bet I shot 25 rounds through that thing, cleaning it, shooting it, cleaning it, shooting it, getting sure it's dialed in, making sure, you know, there's no surprises with a gun. We're dead on out to 200. If that deer is 200 yards and closer, he's on the ground. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm kind of scared to ask who or what they've got locked in the outhouse.
That's a snake.
Maybe that's what they had locked in there. jumping for my life. Woo. My nerves are shot already. With dozens of mineral sites, thousands of acres, and thousands of pictures along with Brian's information, we've narrowed it down. This is the field where I'm gonna focus all my attention.
And judging by the antler growth on those bucks, I'd say those mineral sites paid off.
I can officially load my weapon. Cock, lock, ready to rock. Doc, in case you don't know and you've been under a rock, we've been in a little bit of a drought here in 2012. We've got a bean field out here. The beans didn't really come up, so they're, you don't see your typical bean field, but they're in there and the deer are just piling out and getting them because they're not being cut or anything. They've been coming out of this north end because they've got pictures down this tree line. They've got anywhere from 50s, 60s, 70s to 190 class deer. They've got some whitetail institute acorn obsession out front of this camera, and the deer just pounding it on their way by. However, if they come out on the other tree line, we're not gonna see them until they hit this little rise in front of us. So maybe oh, there he is type of thing. I'm ready to start this season off with a bang. A little cliche, wasn't it? That was kind of dumb. Time's running out tonight. I mean, shooting light's pretty much done, but we got a pretty good buck. Looks like he's probably 170s maybe, but he's still quite a ways away on that far tree line. Just not making their way to this side of the field yet. So at this point, I'm hoping they'll stay way over there until dark so we can slip out.
On early season hunts like this, you don't even go to the stand till late afternoon. So do you sit around the cabin and go crazy, or do you go fishing?
I go fishing.
And crazy.
This is how you kill time in the mornings at deer camp. September early season, not a whole lot of movement in the mornings, but the fish are biting. Might have found the bait. Is that a good enough jump? Would you like something any better? Is that one better? What do you think, Shane? I love to fish, but I don't study the names of lures. This is called one that's working. Getting smaller. Stop it. Well, I don't know. Every stand has a wrong wind. For this field, it's easterly. guess which way it's blowing. With that many big bucks in there, it's time to make a move.
That's why it's always a good idea to have multiple stand locations so that you can hunt multiple wind directions. And especially in a case like this, when you're hunting that many mature bucks, you may not even realize you've bumped him because he'll come in quiet, smell you, and be gone, and you'll never see him. Don't hunt a marginal wind.
B&B's got plenty of those big bucks and even more options. We're moving.
We're gonna head down here. It's gonna be a lot tighter quarters. We're not setting over a big bean field like we were, but we're gonna catch these deer in transition, coming from the bedding area out to a feed field. I think got several, again, big deer in here that are 60s, 70s. Another deer in here that may go in 80s. So get sprayed down, get out there, and it's 3:45. Another good early start. It's 85 degrees.
And now the wind's out of the south, but that makes it safe to go back to the field of dreams.
More specifically, in the field. There's no boat arc tree out in the middle where these deer are hanging out. That's where we're gonna build our blind.
If you build it, they will come.
We've sat on that tree line and the deer have been staying out here. And there's such a rise in the middle of this field that we're just, setting straight up and catching the tops of these deer's antlers and, from the neck up. We can't even see from that blind this whole corner. This field cuts back in. Well, the wind's blowing straight out of the south, basically, so it's cutting straight back here. Brian said, you know what, that little island of trees out there, as hard as the wind's blowing, let's sneak in there and throw up a blind, get in there, and just get in their grill. We like to think of ourselves as smart every now and then. However, sometimes we outsmart ourselves. We're hoping this is not the case. With a strong south wind, there is a chance that those deer will either hang here and skirt around or come out on the other side of this point and hang over there out of the wind. Kind of glowing. all coming together. We really need to get it done tonight because tomorrow the wind is switching back out of the east, northeast, which is just, I mean, it's right here where all the deer are.
3.5 hours in a blind on an 85-degree day, you start to question everything.
I'm pretty sure I could have been in an easy bake oven and not questioned this deer.
Big buck right here coming across the field, right here. Where at? Coming across the field right there. It's a big 10. I haven't seen that deer yet. Tell me what you think. He's a big frame deer though. Yeah. He's a nice 10. Bush. Whenever you're ready, I'm on him. Okay. Downed him. He didn't hit the muscle. Yeah. As you can tell, we're fighting the sun, but with the wind the way it's been, we had to make a move. The wind's been that way, this way, this way, that way. We just dropped one baby right here in Kansas at B&B Outdoors. Yes. We've been so close to these deer, these shooters out here, and they just stay just out of range or just out of camera light. This one, it looked like he had great mass, good 10, good brows. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Here's a flashlight out here. Yeah! Well, you can see the mass from 100 yards. Look at the body on this deer. Oh. What do you think, Brian? Can't get my fingers around him. Barely get him around that one, can't get him around this one. Man, how you like that? B&B Outdoors, Brian, I appreciate it, man. Inside Outdoors TV. Woo!
Man, Kansas is still my favorite state to hunt. If you can tough out the heat, that early season muzzleloader tag is hard to beat.
I think next year I'm going to try to tough out that heat.
You better bring your cooler.
Shoot, I'm going to bring my Realtree Speedo. Keep it nice and cool in there.
That early season muzzleloader tag can be hard to beat. Kansas is hard to beat.
I'm gonna try to beat out the heat. I'll try to.
Speaking of beating stuff.
What did you say about the heat?
If you can tough out that friggin' heat.
In line.
Everything.
110 degrees, I'm not sure that I would have even questioned what.
Huh? 3 days, 2 nights. All expense paid. We're going to Cabo, baby. Where did that come from?